Good evening again and welcome to South Fayette Township High School. It is my distinct honor and pleasure to welcome all of you here this evening. My name is Dr. Hartzell and I am the very proud principal here at South Fayette High School. And I certainly hope that you find that you're entering a very welcoming, challenging, and truly a kind community of learners. I hope that everyone has had a very enjoyable summer and a break, and that you're excited to see what the high school has to offer. I'm excited this evening to provide a brief overview of the high school and hopefully answer the vast majority of your questions. Again, welcome to high school. The journey is about to officially begin in just a few days for our fabulous young people. What you'll find now that's different from all the other buildings on campus is that all of the courses count towards credits that will be documented at the end of the year on an official transcript from South Fayette High School. Grades count as part of the official transcript, which are then sent to any post-secondary institution or wherever your child may plan to go on to in the future. Here at the high school, there is a vast opportunity to engage in a variety of activities, whether it's athletics or varsity athletics or additional clubs, activities through the arts, the musical, and performance ensembles as well. This year at the high school, we'll be offering 5 days in person, and then as communicated from the district yesterday, we are also offering a cyber option through a third-party provider, which is Eduseer. These are some of the contacts at South Fayette Township High School. Myself and Mr. Butts are accompanied in the main office by Mrs. Hawley and Mrs. Lasudas. In the Student Center, we're accompanied by Mrs. Marasco. She assists Mr. Silhanic, who is the Dean of Students, as well as Sergeant Scrow, who's our school resource officer. Also, in our school counseling office and social work offices, they are assisted by Mrs. Bloom, our administrative assistant for counseling and the social work services, as well as our counselors are all housed within those offices. And finally, the nurse's office does contain Nurse Miller. School begins here at South Fayette Township High School at 7:20. Period 1 begins at 7:20. For the exception of the first day where students will check into homeroom, homerooms will be posted throughout the hallways when students enter and will be available in the halls to give them any directional cues that they may need to be able to access their homerooms. Please note that students are considered to be tardy at 7:21 a.m. It's important that they're in first period on a timely basis. Dismissal for our students is at 1:58 p.m., and we start with dismissal with bus riders first. A few minutes later, we dismiss those that are for parent pickup or that have driven to school. Driving is only permitted by juniors and seniors that have a parking permit. Bus pickup and drop-off is in the rear of our building, and parent pickup and drop-off is in the front of the building. I know that currently, temporarily, the front of the building on the gym side, the road is blocked because of the roof repairs that are ongoing, but that will be cleared up by Monday morning. No parking is permitted on the curb for any reason. I'd like to offer a little bit of information about our morning routine. Upon entering the building, prior to 7:10, students have the option of waiting or patiently in our gym or in our commons, which is also our cafeteria. They're welcome to breakfast in the commons as well. Please know that they'll be kept 3 feet apart to the extent possible in all of our areas within the high school, and breakfast is also served in the commons. Students are then free to report to their first period class starting at 7:10, although that class won't start until 7:20. Students attending Parkway West Career and Technical Education Center will depart from the rear of the high school at 11:10, and there'll be announcements made for that. Those students that attend Parkway West will depart Parkway West at 2:20 in the afternoon. They'll return to South Fayette Middle School on our middle school campus in the front of the campus around 2:40. Our high school students will board those middle school buses home, and that's the way in which we'll transport them home after Parkway. This is our first year that we've switched to have Parkway in the afternoon rather than the morning. Lunches. Similar to last year, each student will have the opportunity to have one free breakfast and one free lunch each day. there is a catch. Students must have at least one fruit or one vegetable with their lunch to qualify as a free lunch. These meals also include milk or lactate. Otherwise, the meal would be charged a la carte. Items not included in the price of the free breakfast or the free lunch would be any seconds if they want additional items. A la carte items, bottled beverages including bottled water, ice cream and snacks, anything from our smoothie bar or coffee bar, those things are not included in the free meal. Seating will remain, students will remain in the same seat for lunches. We'll be keeping seating charts for lunches in the incident that we do have to contact trace again this year. These are our bell schedules, and again, all of these slides will be shared out with you. Our Parkway bell schedule is on the left side, and our high school bell schedule on the right side. We have 3 different lunch periods here at South Fayette. Each of those lunches is 30 minutes in length. And again, dismissal is at 1:58 p.m. All students should leave when dismissed. However, at times students may wish to stay after school in the Commons. The Commons is open until 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. Students are permitted to stay after school for any of the following reasons, and that would include academic needs. Perhaps they need to make up a test or assignment or a quiz, or they're staying for tutoring, a club or activity meeting, athletic teams or practices, or any arts, band, musical rehearsal practices. It's important that I mention that this isn't a time or a space that's used for just hanging out with friends. They must have a pass to be in the Commons after school. Students whose parents cannot pick them up at the conclusion of an after-school activity may wait in the Commons until 4:30. Please note that this year, as similar to last year, we will not have an activity bus home. Not only do students need a pass to be in the Commons, but they should ensure that they have transportation home as well. School supplies. 9th grade school supplies are posted on our high school website, and they're also shared on our high school Twitter page. Please feel free to follow us at SFHS Lions. These are suggested supplies from each teacher that has a section of a 9th grade class, and not all of the teachers require the same materials, so that we ask that you take the time to review those supplies that they may need. Also, we have some supplies, not all that are mentioned on the supply sheet online, available in our South Fayette main store, which is in our Commons area. That store is open during our lunch periods. All of our school lockers have locks built into them. Your student should have gotten a locker assignment this evening. They should memorize this combination. However, it's important that I mention to you that our gym lockers do not have a locker. Students will not be changing for the gym at the start of the school year. So if you're currently scheduled for a gym class for semester 1, we will not be changing. However, if you are looking to use a locker in the gym area, please bring your own lock. And then we would, of course, suggest any planner or app for your child as well. As I mentioned prior, please make sure that your child is memorizing their locker combination. We're always here to help if they're struggling to open it. They're welcome to try it tonight as well. It's very important that locker combinations not be shared with anyone else and those be kept private to the student that owns that locker. It's also crucial that students do not share lockers. What is contained in that locker is the property of that student, and they are responsible for anything that they choose to put into the locker. Visitors. This year, very similar to last year, we will be permitting essential visitors only into the building for COVID reasons. Those visitors will be going through a COVID screening process and a temperature check as well, similar to last year. However, during the school day, all of our doors, entrances, and exits will remain locked, and all visitors must sign in the Student Center with Mrs. Marasco. You'll be given a sticker that will be a visitor's pass, and your license will be scanned through our Raptor software. And that's just taking extra safety and security precautions. Our dress code and our dress policy can be summed up as modesty and good taste. Students should not wear any clothing that exposes any undergarments or midriffs, cleavage. No halter tops or spaghetti straps should be worn as well. Skirts and shorts should be at least fingertip in length. Clothing should be free of references to drugs, sex, alcohol, weapons, profanity, and violence. Hats are not permitted to be worn within the building, and hoods need to remain down. Please note that symbols of hate are banned from our dress code. This includes, but is not limited to, the Confederate flag and the swastika. These are not permitted. Just some answers to a few common questions for all of you. Yes, students may carry their backpacks around. In fact, what we find is that students carry that backpack all day with every item that they have in it. We really encourage the students to use their locker, and we can help them find a time during their day when it's most convenient to stop at that locker and obtain their belongings. They do have 3 minutes between class. We try to be as flexible as possible with that. Students should plan carefully for visiting their lockers in between classes. And finally, lunch is usually a little bit chaotic. Sometimes it's an anomaly the first week, but please trust me that people will find their routines, their ways, and their tables very quickly, and that will become a very easy and smooth process for the remainder of the school year. And finally, in terms of phones and devices, that is up to the individual teacher as to whether those phones are permitted during the class. We routinely and readily use the laptops during the school day as well. Keep in mind that students will be picking one seat at lunch and staying in that seat. And that will be something that we're doing to make the seating process and potential contact tracing process as seamless and easy as possible. I'd like to touch upon the unexcused absences and tardies to school. We all hope that your son or daughter does not accumulate these unexcused absences or tardies. In terms of the unexcused absences, we do require that a valid excuse is turned in within 5 days of that absence. And some things that are not covered as excused include hair appointments, a driver's test, any photography appointments. These are not excused absences, so please keep that in mind. Tardies to school, an excuse must also be submitted within 5 days for this to be considered unexcused. I'd ask that you'd please refer to the student handbook that's posted online to our website. This handbook will also be reviewed during the opening weeks in our civics classes as well. And then I'll be sending home a handbook sign-off form as well for you to review. These are some attendance reminders, and this comes straight from our student parent handbook. And these are just the outcomes if for some reason your child accumulates a 3rd, 4th, 6th, 10th, 15th, or 20th unexcused absence. And please note that we do send out form letters and notifications for these. These are tardy reminders when excessive tardies start to occur. Please note that we do file charges with the local magistrate if you reach 10 or more unexcused tardies during the first 9 weeks. These are not cumulative. They don't reset every 9 weeks. So if you're hitting 10 during the first quarter, 15 during the second, 20 during the third, and 24, we will refile each time with the magistrate. Please note that they're cumulative in nature. Some important reminders about academics. Grades will be reported in PowerSchool. Parents, you're able to view those grades through our parent portal. There are instructions outside in the lobby should you need them. Report cards will be issued on paper. They'll be mailed at the end of the school year. That is when you'll receive a paper copy of the report card. However, in the interim, you'll receive notifications through School Messenger that grades are posted, whether it be progress report grades or report card grades at the end of each quarter, that they're posted online through the parent portal of PowerSchool, and we would encourage you to look at those grades routinely. Please note that extra weight is given to honors and AP courses, and that contributes towards determining a child's GPA and class rank. We don't publish that rank on transcripts anymore. That's something that we keep internal only for scholarship purposes. They'll be hearing a little bit more from the counselors about that. And finally, if a student is awarded an incomplete or an I on a report card or progress report, that I stands for incomplete, and your child has 10 days to complete any work to clear that incomplete. Finally, eligibility for sports does begin this week. It's checked every Friday. If your child has 2 or more Fs when eligibility is checked on Friday, unfortunately, your child would be ineligible to play or practice. And this is some one-to-one information reminders. These are things that if you are not new to the district that you are very accustomed to each year. I'll let you review this on your own time, but I will say that the laptop, the charger, and the protective case are the property of the district and are expected to be returned when your child graduates or in the instance that you may withdraw or leave the district. Students are not permitted to make any changes or download anything that we don't give them permission to do so on that laptop. And this laptop is supposed to be used for educational purposes only. This should not be used as the prime tool to access social media or watch Netflix or download video games of that sort. Please keep in mind that our acceptable use policy does apply to the laptop. Here, while they're in our building on our campus, there are controls to keep them safe on the computers, to safeguard them. However, know that we can't guarantee those same safety precautions if they're somewhere else using the internet. On the first occurrence, if your child's laptop needs to be repaired, we'll do so as soon as possible. If it happens again and there's a second occurrence, we will repair it. We'll also contact the parent or the guardian as well and discuss it. The third occurrence, we'll service it and contact the parent or guardian, and there will be a $25 fee. And then the fourth and subsequent incidents when this might occur will require meetings with the high school administrators to determine whether or not your child will continue to have the privileges of the laptop or not. If your child is not taking the laptop home each night, the laptop can be stored in our counseling office, and it's checked in and checked out similar to how you would a book at the local library. The one-to-one forms, you will have received a mailing at this point in time. Most of you picked up the laptop over the summer. If you do need those forms for any reason, they are available online on our website. The forms are due by September 10th to your son or daughter's English teacher. This is a list of our graduation requirements from South Fayette, and again, we'll make sure that all of these slides are posted on the high school website with this recording for you to access as a resource. We require 25 total credits, 24 of which are from academic classes and courses, and 1 that is from the completion of the senior exit interview, which will occur during April of your child's senior year. Also, starting for the graduating class of 2023, so next year's graduating class, will be tracking their graduation requirement according to 5 pathways, and this has to do with the Keystone exam proficiency. Those pathways are the Keystone Proficiency Pathway, the Keystone Composite Pathway, an alternate assessment pathway, an evidence-based pathway, and a career and technical education pathway. There's a significant amount of information that will be included with all of these. This is informational in nature, but know that your child's counselor will be touching base with them about these requirements. We'll be providing further information as well about this, and the counselors will be working individually with each student for this. So tonight, your child will have received a copy of their schedule. I'd like to go over just briefly how to interpret and how to read that schedule. Classes that are a full year in length have a Y by them, and they're marked with the entire school year. So under the term column, you would see 21-22. Classes that are the first half of the school year, or semester 1, You'll see an S1 under the term, and those that are the second half of the school year, which means they start in mid-January, will have an S2 under the term. The expression is the period. We run an A-B day schedule here, alternating, starting on an A day, then a B day, then an A day, and so on and so forth. So if you have an A-B, that class is offered every single day of school. If it's only an A, the class is offered on an A day, and only a B, only on a B day. Every day, the day is announced on the PA system during morning announcements, which occur right at 7:20. The teacher's name is also listed with the course name as well as the room number. We have 3 academic hallways as well as our fine arts wing here at the high school. We have the AA hallway, which is on the far left side of the building, closest to the gym. The AB hallway, which is closest to us here in the theater. And then the middle hallway is the AC hallway. The 200 level rooms are on the floor that we're currently on, and 100 are downstairs. FA is fine arts, and those are all of the classrooms surrounding down the theater hallway and all behind us as well. We also have maps available this evening, and they're also kept in the main office if your child should need a map. This is our grading scale. I'll let you refer to this, but please note that we have academic weighting and honors weighting. So please refer to this, and this goes into the GPA calculation as well. These are the criteria for honor roll. Honor roll is 3.25 to 3.7499. High honor roll is 3.75 to 3.999, and highest honor roll is 4.0 and above. Honor roll status is noted at the end of each quarter in the parent portal and in PowerSchool. As I mentioned briefly earlier, interim progress reports and report cards will be available through the parent portal or through PowerSchool for your child at the end of each 4.5 weeks or at the end of each 9-week period. Report cards will be mailed at the end of the school year. Class rank will no longer be listed on transcripts. When it comes time for your child to complete college applications, your child would select, "My school does not rank." GPA or grade point average is based on Y1 or the end of the year, the overall course grade. This is all made up of quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4, and each one of those quarters is worth 25% of the total grade. Please note that midterms and finals are optional, and that's up to the teacher discretion. A little bit more information about the PowerSchool Portal. There are directions in the lobby for how to access this. This gives you a very brief version of how to access it by clicking on our webpage, southfayette.org, then on high school, then on the Parents tab, and from there, the PowerSchool information is located in the lower right-hand corner. School messenger messages are distributed to the current email address that we have on file for you in PowerSchool. If for some reason you find that you aren't receiving those emails, please contact us in the main office. Perhaps you've changed your email address. Finally, I mentioned before, something new this year is our high school does have its own Twitter page. Please be sure to follow us on Twitter at SFHS Lions. Our district at South Fayette, SD, our sports at SF Lions Sports, and our band at SF Bands. Please note that many of the clubs and organizations here at the high school also have their very own Twitter page as well. As I mentioned previously, we do have a counseling office, and we also have a social worker that we share with the middle school. Please, if you need any assistance with career or college exploration or any of those questions, course selections, any type of problem or concern, scheduling questions, if you're interested in counseling services here or outside counseling services, or even our student assistance program if your child is struggling academically, socially, emotionally, please don't hesitate to reach out to our counselors and social worker. They're readily available, and you'll find that they're very happy to help you. Our clubs and organizations are also listed on a web page, and that is listed. You can click on this, and then you'll be able to have it when it is sent out as well. Students, please consider getting involved in your school. This is an excellent way to meet new people, to make new friends, and certainly to expand your interests. Academic enrichment, our coordinator is Mrs. Quirk. She's here this evening. These opportunities are offered to all students throughout the school year. And these are opportunities that go beyond the classroom, that when it is time for students to consider the college application process, that can help generate and build the child's resume and truly set them apart from all other students. Please see Mrs. Quirk if you're interested. Please be sure to follow them on Twitter at SFHS Enrichment. Mrs. Quirk also periodically sends out the Beyond the Classroom newsletter, which is filled with opportunities for your child as well. Your child would have begun to contribute to career portfolio experiences in the lower grades. During high school, they'll be completing at least 8 artifacts for career portfolio. Mrs. Sharrow will be talking with the students a little bit more about this in the class of 2025 Career Readiness Google Classroom. These opportunities will essentially be the student's career portfolio. And this is going to ensure that we meet the Pennsylvania Department of Education's requirement of those 8 career artifacts from grades 9 through 11. And just to give you an example, all of our students do create a resume while in high school, and this counts as one of the artifacts. All of these artifacts will help the students in the completion of the senior exit interview. This is done in April of the senior year. This is a culminated activity. It's also worth 1 full credit towards the graduation requirements. This was newly implemented this past school year and was a definite success. We enjoyed the process, but it gives students the opportunity to demonstrate their competencies in written and oral communication skills, some research, and even technology utilization. And it is meant to be interactive with a panel of South Fayette teachers. Some of the programs that you can expect for your child to experience and work with in 9th grade is Naviance. It's a career and college search engine that we use readily here at the high school. They'll also be engaging in a variety of different writing activities: descriptive, narrative, persuasive, and expository. They'll be engaged in some transition activities. Perhaps your child has already taken part in one of our Link Crew tours here at the high school. And they'll also be engaging in presentation applications, which is a class here. It's also a graduation requirement as well. Link Crew is our freshman transition program here at the high school. It is student-centered and student-run, and your child will be engaged in different meetings throughout the school year with a variety of their Link Crew mentors as well. I'd like to share just briefly about some safety information. We do have security personnel on campus during school hours. We also have them after school at different events. We provide our staff with ongoing and regular training. During each school year, we do conduct at least 2 school safety drills, and you'll receive notification from me before those events do occur. We continue to make improvements with communication and access and our camera system within the high school as well. And please note that we pride ourselves on a very strong partnership and ongoing partnership with local agencies, our South Fayette Township Police, the fire, the EMS, Allegheny County, and also our mental health providers and resources as well. Some COVID-19 information. What I will tell you is it's very similar to our requirements from last year. We ask that each student each day completes those self-screenings at home, and we absolutely implore you that if your child is sick, please don't send them to school. We will be universally masking while indoors during the school day. And please note that there is regular and routine cleaning throughout our building and on our buses and between each and every run. I already mentioned that our seating in the commons, students should pick a seat and be prepared to stay in that seat in the event that we have to contact trace. We'll continue to use the right side of our hallways, and hand sanitizer is readily available everywhere throughout this building. Our water fountains will be for water bottle fill-up only. And on this slide, I've simply included information that has come directly from our district health and safety plan. The two biggest points here, in addition to the routine and regular cleaning and the self-screenings that need to occur every day, is that, again, we will require masks when indoors, and due to a federal regulation, masks are required in all school buses. And please note, I said masks. Just like if you were to board an airplane, they do require a mask. A bandana, a face shield, those are not permissible. They do require a mask. I know I've shared a plethora of information, a wealth of information with you at this point in time. We have another session that starts in about 25 minutes. Please feel free, ask any questions that you may have. There's plenty of us here to ask. If there's a private question that you need to ask, we ask that you just keep that private and come approach us. But if it's something for the full group, the entire group here tonight, I would encourage you to please feel free to ask those questions and we'll answer them now. What questions may I answer? Yes. Yes, an ID will come with the picture package after they receive their school photos. Yes?
In the beginning you mentioned about the cyber option. Is that either or can a student mix in when he or she is absent?
That's a wonderful question, and I want to thank you for asking that. It's either or. It's either the student come to school 5 days in person, or you select the cyber option through EduSeer. The sign-up was contained in an email that went out to families and parents within the district yesterday. There's a Google form contained in that if you wish to sign up. That sign-up should be completed by August 27th if that's something that you're interested in. Yes? That's an excellent question. There are 3 reasons how students could access school from home, and I need to stress that these are temporary reasons, okay? One would be if a student does have to quarantine or isolate. They would be able to access the class from home with the Google Meet and the camera system, similar to what was done here in the high school last year. The other is if the student has a pre-approved medical procedure. In other words, they might be having their wisdom teeth out, a tonsillectomy, an appendectomy. That would be a reason that if they're feeling well enough, of course, perhaps they're not feeling well enough during quarantine or isolation or after a medical procedure, then they'd be marked excused. They don't have to log on, but they would have the option to join virtually from home. Again, temporary reasons. The other would be an intermittent medical reason. We certainly hope that this isn't the case, but perhaps your child may need a transfusion or be undergoing a medical treatment, chemotherapy that perhaps is once every month, something like that. That would be considered temporary as well, and those are the 3 reasons where they could access school virtually. Thank you for your question. Any other questions? Yes? Yes, absolutely. Ask mom and dad. I think they'll be okay. Absolutely. If a student has an older sibling that drives to school and they have a student parking permit here, may the younger child also ride in the car with them? Yes, as long as mom and dad are okay with it. Yes. Any other questions? Yes?
Student ranking is not recorded, but can it be requested?
Yes, it can. You would simply call the school counseling office and speak with the relative counselor to your student's last name. We'll provide that. We just no longer provide it on the transcript, but we keep it for internal purposes, scholarship purposes, absolutely. Thank you for your question. Any other questions that yes, sir?
You mentioned that students will sit in the same seat at lunch. Do they select their own seats or are they assigned?
Yes, sir. They can select their own seat with their own groups of friends. We have a variety of different flexible seating options at lunch. We have high-top tables that have 2 seats at each table. We have square tables that are reserved for 4 chairs at those tables, and then we have round tables. Those round tables have 5 seats at each table. You'll also find that if you do walk around the building this evening, we have seating around the perimeter that is some lower chairs and some high top to fit the counters for the students. And it is around that area that there are charging ports available as well for students. Yes? Well, that will depend on your individual class. Your teacher will provide you some instruction with that, but we're asking you to do your best to pick your seat at lunch. Last year, we did give the opportunity to change seats at the semester break. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Will students have a temporary online option for non-COVID illnesses? You have a strep throat or cold or spring drink or whatever?
No. That would be a parent excused absence, or if you wish to go to the doctor, a doctor's excuse. Yes?
When will we get bus information?
You've not, I know that you're new to the district as well. Would you provide me after this with your name and contact, and I'll be in touch with Mr. Subi to contact you. Thank you. Please see me individually. Any other questions? Well, on behalf of our entire faculty and staff, I want to welcome you to South Fayette Township High School. It is our pleasure to work with your child, to serve you, to serve this community, and we're looking forward to an absolutely fantastic school year and a wonderful four-year journey with your child. Should you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out, to email us, to call us, so that we can make these next 4 years the most successful that they can be for your child. Thank you very much for joining us this evening, and take care.